Let's solve some good old problems. I meant new problems, but this experienced set of authors couldn't give a problem which is already known to the community. We believe these are new problems. I am fully prepared, so nothing will prevent me from participating well. Visual Studio is set. What? No, this is not good. Ah, this is because I need to read the number of multitests. Now it works. So it is C++20, which we will use possibly, and there is of course OEs because we maybe will use it. My team reference, Emacs, and the Codeforces official site. So, during the second but last contest, last but one contest, this happened. We need not to repeat it again. We need something like this, not like this. So, again, what's wrong? Are you fixing the problem in the last 5 minutes? Dudes. Dudes. Okay, let's look at the participants. There are a lot of them. There are a lot of them. Even Gassa. So our plan today, our task, our mission is to defeat Gassa. If it's done, we are fine. The second important task is to not lose IGM, but the first task is to defeat Gassa. We need to defeat Gassa. Okay, let's call him for the duel. Okay, and also one task is for my camera to not die during the contest. Advertising, hiring, commercial offers, spam are prohibited. Rudeness, insults, and intimidation are prohibited. What is intimidation? I don't even know. Let's intimidate him. Right. Well. Hopefully there will be a duel. Right? Okay, if I already declared a duel, then it's going to happen, no matter what. Even if he says that he'll not participate, there is still a duel. Okay, intimidation didn't work. So since he hasn't a dog, then there was no intimidation. Guys. Oh, that was a d4. Sorry, I didn't participate. In what time did people get total? 11? 11 minutes? Seriously? Okay. Okay, maybe. I will not open this problem. I'm interested if... Okay, maybe I will just solve this contest later. I really need to turn off the sound. Okay, now hopefully it will not be postponed. Dun, 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 dun. If you think that I'm sleepy, you're right. But I think these problems will wake me up. So even if... Okay, you can still register for this contest. I believe there were less participants. Okay, I believe let's go. Let's go. Okay, this is such an easy problem. Great. So it will be vector int and int k. So we will have int ans equals 2023, or int I from a, we will divide it. So if ans percent %i, then return nothing, or ans divided to I. Then are they positive? Yeah. Then we return. So we return. Okay, and we say that a0 equals ans. Okay, here we read array B, we read tendent K, we read A, we find ans of A and K, and if ans is empty, we print no, else we print yes. And what do we print then? We print the array. So for nice. Now we are ready to look at the answers. No, yes. 7, 1, yes. 0. Oh, this would be unfortunate. 7 was 7, 1, yes, 1, yes, 7, yes, 1, yes. Yeah, correct. I spent a huge amount of time on this problem, but now it's solved, I believe. Let's look at the problem B. Let's look at the standings. What? Okay, this was scary. Certain number is chosen, you're given two integers a and b, which are the two largest divisors of the number x. For the okay, you need to so we read a and b. Is it guaranteed that the answer exists? So okay, we read n and k. We just find GCD. So if g, so n is less than k, it's guaranteed. So if g equals n, we return k times 2, I think. Else we just print the LCA of them. LCM. K divided by g times n. Nice. No. No, for example, if we have 9 and 3, what if we have 9 and 3? What does it mean? Yeah, so what if we have we have 1, we have n, we have like x and y, and here we have n over x and n over y. Yeah, this means that if this divides this, then this divides this. So actually this is x squared. And in this case we need to multiply n by n over k. This would be correct. Let's look at the tests. Yeah. 6 y0. 1, 2. 1, 2. Ah, k. It should be k here. And here should be k over n. 6, 4, 33. 25, 20. 12, 27, 1 billion. Yes. Is it fine? Nice. Training before the Olympiad. Masha and Ola have an important team Olympiad coming up soon. In honor of this, Masha for warm-up suggested playing a game with Ola. There is an array, Masha goes first and the players take turns. If the size of array is 1, the game ends. Otherwise, the player who is currently playing chooses two different indices and performs the following operations. Removes both their numbers and adds a sum over 2 times 2. Masha aims to maximize the final number while Ola aims to minimize it. Masha and Ola decided to play on each non-empty prefix of the initial array and ask for your help. Okay, Masha. Okay, see, each time when we take two numbers of same parity, the sum is preserved. But if we take the different parity, then the sum is decremented by 1. So Masha wants to make as many same parities as possible, and Ola tries to make as little, as few same parities as possible. Let's think about this problem, because I don't see how to solve it immediately. Who starts the game? Okay. So we have Masha, who wants to maximize, and Ola wants to minimize. So what Masha tries to do is she always takes two numbers with different parities. And Ola also always tries to take same. No. Masha takes same parities, and Ola takes different. Okay, for example, this is even numbers and this is odd numbers. So Masha takes two even numbers. So what Masha would like to do is to give Ola an array where all numbers have the same parity. Then Ola doesn't have any choice but to take two numbers of same parity. This is a strange problem. I don't understand it. Do people understand it? People understand it really well. In 6 minutes? While I solved B in 7 minutes. I don't have any idea. ideas. What? What? Ah, it's always even. This number is always even. Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, in this case, no matter what you do, you always get one new even number. So, and Masha goes first. So after the first move, there is always at least one even number. At least one even number. So what does Oля do? If there is at least one odd number, she just takes it and makes the mean with an odd number, and the answer is decremented. What does Masha do? Masha takes obviously two odd numbers if there are any, and performs an operation with them. So in the end, we will only have even numbers, and the sum is not decremented. So we have an initial sum. So let's assume that there are some even numbers and some odd numbers. In this case, what is in this case? Yeah, in this case, first of all, they do odd over 3 pair rounds where both Masha and Oля do something. Yes, because Masha takes 2 numbers and then Oля takes 1 number. Okay, and after that, in the end, let's take odd %3. If it is 1, then we also add 1 to the answer. Okay, so, and we need to do it for every prefix. Yes, so we need a vector of ints. So here we have, are there ints? Yeah, there are only ints. Vi ans, vi a n, sin a, and then we need vi ans. Oh, it can be vl ans equals find ans of a, and we print for nice. Here we need to return vl given a vi. Yeah, so what do we need? We need a sum and the number of odd numbers. And of course, let it also be even numbers. So we go through all the numbers in the array. First of all, we say that sum plus equals I. After that, if I %2, then plus plus odd, or plus plus even. Then we say that okay, let's do like this. What do we say? First of all, we need to add the answer is just sum of all numbers minus the number of decrements. So for each odd over 3, we make a decrement, and also if there is at least if even plus odd is at least is at least 2 and odd %3 equals 1, Then also seance is decremented. Okay, that sounds legit. Let's check it. Well, 31, 6, 8, 16, 18, 22, 26, 3, 12, 24, 7, 20, 30, 48, 50. Yes. We believe it's a correct answer. What's wrong with you? Problem. What? Again, these are Chinese archives, aren't they? Some Chinese archives. Yeah, Chinese archives. Okay, we are not going to look into them now. Let's look at the mathematical problem. 31st Lyceum, it's a reference to Chelyabinsk from Russia. You're given an odd number n, and you need to find n different numbers which are squares. It's not that simple. Each number should have a length of n, and the multiset of digits of all the numbers should be the same. What? So you're given an odd number n, and we need to find n different squares of length n. With the same multiset of digits. Okay, this is crazy, and people solve it immediately. What? Do we know some well-known squares? Okay, I believe we can do it by induction. So assume that we know several squares. Sorry, several squares of length n minus 2. Okay, these are all squares. Ah, I understand. It's like this. After that, we need this and this. But it's one less than I need. Oh, this works. This works. 169 and 196. Do they work? Yes, they work. They work like a charm. So we need to read n. We need to find ans, and we need to go through all the answers and print them. Yeah. Yeah. Let's do it. So if n equals 1, we return only one string 1. Otherwise, we print quite a lot of squares. So we say vs v of size n, and we go through or int I equals what? So, for example, if 3, then we have 2 attempts. No, 1. So it's like n over 2 plus I. So we say that if v dot size is less than n, v dot push back what? So first of all, we need string. We need 1 plus I zeros plus 6 plus I zeros plus string plus 9 and plus the remaining digits. So how many digits we need? We need n minus 3 minus 2i. Of zeros. Okay. Then the same thing about 961. And finally, let's put here one string of the following or the following format 196 and plus n minus 3 zeros. Okay, let's look at our answer. So for one we only had one, now we have 3 of this kind, and then we have this is this is fine, and this is fine. Let's also look at 7. Yes, 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 yes. Nice. Interesting problem. Standings requires me to solve problem E. Happy life in university. Igor and his friend Artemy. Rainbow also knows some Chinese archives. Igor and his friend Arsenia finishing school this year and will soon enter university. And since they are responsible, they have started preparing for admission already. They visited the university website. It is a route with n vertices. Each of them represents a recreation. They need to choose 2 recreations, which they will settle. And they want to maximize difference of U and LCA. What? Ah, diff. It's a constructive problem. No, it's not a constructive problem because the tree is already given. But like you have a tree and we need to maximize the number of different activities here times the number of different activities here. And obviously we need to only choose leaves because why not? But after that, I don't know what to do, really. Does it worth solving these problems? Or I don't need to try them? I really don't know. So again, we have several leaves. We take an LCA of 2 leaves, and we take the product of numbers of different activities. Hmm. Okay, let's fix the LCA. Let's fix the LCA. Then I need to find a number of different activities here and in some other child. Yeah, so for each vertex, I am interested in the maximum number of different activities on this path. Wow, I don't like it a lot. Okay, so how do I solve this problem? Assume that I'm on vertex V. Then I need to find a maximum path. I just need two maximum paths. That's all I need. I need to choose two different children, and in each of them I need to find the biggest path, except this color doesn't count. This color doesn't count at all. So the problem is I found the answer, but unfortunately it contains V, and this is the problem, because I wouldn't like to decrement the answer. Okay, so let's assume that I have a question. I have a vertex, it has some parent, and find the maximum path here without this color. Yes, so now we need to find the maximum color here without these two colors, which is beginning to be crazy. So for each vertex, I would like to find the maximum path in it without the color of its parent. Is it some sort of, I don't know. Do people solve some other problems? No, only E and H. These are my only options. It's a hard problem. Unfortunately, it's a hard problem. Not necessarily different. Okay, this doesn't matter. I will always take different. Again, so for each vertex, I just want to find the maximum path ending in it. With the maximum number of colors without counting the parent vertex. This color doesn't count. So assume that I know it for every of these vertices. This means that I just know the maximum of these paths. So if the maximum equals m, then I can get, including this color, I can always get m. So the question is, can I get m plus 1? The question is, can I get m plus 1? And in order to do that, I need to check whether I can do the maximum without this color. Okay, so let's do the following. For each vertex, I store the maximum answer and the colors which are a must. So the set of colors such that I really need to have each of them for the maximum. Yeah, for example, in this case, the answer will be 2 colors and 3, because only 3 is a must. But if I have this tree, then the answer is 2 and both of the colors. So they both are a must. Okay, so assume that we know this answer about all children. What do I do then? So for each child, I know the maximum number of colors there and the obligatory colors. So first of all, let's assume that the maximum answer in the children is m. Then the answer is either m or m plus 1. So let's check each m. So if there is an m and this color C is not included in the requirements, then we can find the list where C is not in the list of requirements. No, this is not correct. This is not correct because, for example, let's assume that I have this picture. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then the requirement is only 1, but if I have now 2 and 4, then the best answer is this times this, which is 4 times 4. Although here the only requirement is 1, here the only requirement is 4, and here the only requirement is 1 for 2. Yes, still the number of colors. Okay, maybe I need all multisets. I need all maximum sets. Awful problem. Awful problem. Okay, so now for... No, this is crazy, because even if I store all multisets, this is still not enough, because of the following. Yeah, for example, assume that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and here only 8. I still need to store this 8, because maybe in the future there will be a repetition of these numbers. 4, 5, 6, 7. And for example, this is also 10. And the answer will not include this sausage. It will only still the answer will only, if I have something here, for example, some answer here, then the answer is definitely like this. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, I don't know how to solve this stupid problem. But people know. Max solved F. Let's look at F, because I don't know how to solve E, and this is not great. Number of computer scientists was N1 and mathematicians N2. And there is a graph. If one person is removed along with all their connections, any pair of people still remains acquainted. So the graph is one connected, it's called two connected. Yeah, it's two connected. The connectivity is at least 2. They want to divide the students into the groups. Any pair of computer scientists should be acquainted. And the same should be true for mathematicians. So what? I know this problem. I solved some such problem, but not in programming contest, but in mathematical one. So we have a connected graph, and we need to divide it into 2 parts, such that the size of first one is n1, the size of second one is n2, and they are connected. Yeah, this is a known problem. This is really a known problem. But how to solve it? I forgot. I forgot how to solve this problem. We have a 2 connected graph, double connected, I don't know, and we need to divide it into 2 connected components, size n1 and n2, and n2. So let's remove all the edges while the twice connectivity still remains. So we have now minimal two-connected graph. Now let's create a tree of blocks and articulation points. And with DFS, we really can easily find a component which needs to be divided. We can do it in square time. Yeah, we can do it in square time because the number of edges is not that big. Still not an easy problem. Okay, let's find. Okay, what I would like to do is to order them in such a way that any prefix is connected and any suffix is connected. And the question is it possible or not? Question is it possible or not? So let's find any spanning tree. We want to do this thing. So how do we do it? So we go one by one. So let's assume that there is some sort of this thing. And we have taken this vertex. Which vertex we could take next? So it could happen that, yeah, it could happen that none of them is, for example, this one is definitely twice connected here. But still, let's make a DFS tree where all such edges are vertical. Here in this case, we have something like this. The contest doesn't go well now. Problem E is now solved by 63 teams. And now a huge number of 11 teams solved H1. Okay, let's solve E and then look at H1. Let's look solve F and look at H1. So we have a vertex, we have a root vertex here. And we made a DFS tree. Okay, let's take some vertex, some leaf. What next? What vertex do we need to take next? So can we take its parent? I believe that not really. And it's not always true that we can do it. I believe I need to remember how I solved this problem because I believe it can be written somewhere. This can be written somewhere. You know, I can't find it. I will have to remember it without my written notes. Let's look at H1. I don't know what to do. Let's look at H1. Find the number of n by n matrices such that the rank of A is exactly R. Okay. This is interesting. Maybe this is an original problem. Okay, we have an n by n matrix, and we need to find number of such matrices with rank R, where R, what is it, is H2. And here rank is 5 times 10 to the 5th power. Okay. How do we solve it? So this is actually the number of arrays of n vectors whose modulo p. We need to find the number of vectors whose linear hull is of size exactly R. Okay, so to do that, let's find the number for which it is at most R, and then subtract that for which it is at most R minus 1. So now the question is, find n vectors whose rank is at most R and calculate the number of such tuples. Or no, or exactly R. No. Let's take exactly R. Let's take exactly R. So we need to find the number of matrices such that rank equals R. This is the number of spaces fr in fn times number of generating sets in fr in fn. Okay. So let's calculate both things and we are done. Okay, so let's start with spaces fr in fn. Yeah, it is equal to the number of R independent vectors, number of such tuples, divided by the number of such tuples in single fr. Let's do it. So the first thing is easy, yeah, because we can choose the first vector with this number of ways. It's like p to n minus 1. Then the second vector is pn minus p, and pn minus p squared, etc. And finally pn minus pr. And we divide it by the number of independent vectors in fr. Yeah, and in fr, it is same, but PR minus 1, PR minus P, PR minus P squared, etc. PR minus PR R minus 1. Great. So this is calculatable. Let's continue. After that, we need to find the number of generating sets in FR in of some FR in Fn. This is just the number of generating sets in FR itself. So we have FR. We take the number of generating sets of size n. This is what we need. How do we do it? And we need to multiply by it. How do we do it? So we need to find if choose so maybe to do it we need to find the number of generating sets of size n. Yeah, let's take a set. Is it generating set? Maybe, but maybe not. It's like some dynamic programming for H1, but maybe we don't need it. How many generating sets of size n in FR? So we take FR. Maybe it's like number of all sets minus number of not generating. But the number of non-generating is not that easy because you know why. Because there are a lot of cases. There are a lot of cases. Okay, let's start with H1 because I don't see how to solve H2. And so we need to find the number of sets minus the number of not. We need to find the number of. Okay, let's take FR and we need to take n vectors of size n. No, or n vectors with dimension of the hull r. Well, is n huge? Yeah, n is actually such a huge number. Why is it so huge? Why did you make it such a huge number? Well, never mind. So let's start again. We have n vectors. We need them to be generating. Okay, let's reformulate. We have a vector space of size r and n, and we need to find n vectors which are generating, such so that this matrix should have rank r. Let's change places. So now we need to find r vectors of size n which are independent. And to do that, we just need to make it square here. Yeah, it seems like we just need to square this number. Let's check it, I believe. Okay, let's not check it, let's just write it because... Or check. Let's check, okay. So, for example, 3 to 3. 3 p equals y. P equals 2? Y. Ah, okay, p equals 2. And k equals 3. So we need something like pn minus 1, etc. pn minus pr minus 1 squared over pr minus 1, etc. pr minus 1. That's it. So let's look at it. So it's like 7 squared times r. What is r? R, for example, is... Let's take something interesting. R equals 2. So this is time 6 squared. And then we divide it by 3 times 2. So this is just 7 squared times 6, which is 49 times 6, which is 300 minus 6, which is this number. Yes. Okay, let's solve this problem. I thought it would be harder. Yeah. Okay. So we need lln int p and k. We find the answer npk and we print it. So for 0 I less than ons with size plus I print unsigned great. Now we solve this problem. And we find vi. So we need to find all numerators and all denominators. And the number of such is k k plus 1. So vi num of size k plus 1 and denom of size k plus 1. Then we need to find answer of size k plus 1. We say that ans I equals product of num I and denom I modulo m. Then we return answer. Let's find the numerators and denominators. So for r equals 0, this is just 1. Let's start with 1. Then we need to multiply it by something. So for int I equals, for r equals 1, r is at most k plus plus r. What do we need? We need to multiply it by pn minus pr. Yes, first of all, we need to find p to the power of n. What's it? So p to the power of n modulo m. And it should be LL. So, and here we need int. So we multiply it. We say that num r equals product of num r minus 1 and current difference modulo m. Actually, not current distance, but square of current distance modulo m. Let's find current distance. To find the current difference, we need to find the difference between big power and the small power. The small power is just CP. Then we need to say that CP is product of CP and P mod M. Nice. Now we have calculated the numerator. Now we need to calculate the denominator. So it shouldn't be hard. Assume that we know. Let's start with the bigger number. Let's start with the bigger number. So let me think. So let's say that denom r equals something. Then we will calculate, and then we will say that denom r equals product of it is called inverse LL of denom r and modulus. Then we need to say that denom I is product of denom I and denom I plus 1 modulo m. What is r? It is k, and this is k, and this is k, and this is k. So we need to do two things. We need to find the denom k and find the differences between two consecutive denominators. Yeah. So assume that we know PR minus 1, PR minus P, etc. PR minus PR minus 1. So how can we calculate the next thing, which is PR plus 1 minus 1, PR plus 1 minus P, etc. PR plus 1 minus PR. Yes, so this is just multiplication by P. So dr plus 1 is PR plus 1 minus 1 times dr times PR. Nice. Then, so if we know I r plus 1 is, so I is inverse D. So now if we know EIR plus 1, we know IR, which is simply PR times PR r plus 1 minus 1 times IR plus 1. So we need to print this number in IR plus 1. So we again have current power Cp equals 1. And let's go. We need to go through all numbers. For int I equals... Actually, I think we can stop at 0. Let's go from 1 to k plus sign. So. And we start in 0. Oh, we start in 1. Yeah, so we say that denom I minus 1 is what? Actually, let's do it from 0. Then denom I. What is denom I? We need to take PR times PR plus 1 minus 1. So let's take NCP, which is this product, and we will say that CP is NCP. And here we say that it is the product of CP and NCP minus 1 modulo n. Yes. And after that, we need to say that denom K is product of denom K and denom I. Shouldn't we? Yes. Let's check it. So we have 2 tests. Actually, we have more than 2 tests. No, we have 2 tests. Let's check them. 132. Well, it is not good, but we need to move this one. 49. 168. 1. Yes. Yes, I believe it's correct. Okay, let's check it. First of all, H1. Wrong answer, test 15. No way. No way. I think I have some sort of a problem with long longs. So this one, k is 0 maybe? Maybe k equals 0 is a problem. Yeah, maybe k is 0 is a problem. Because in this case... the answer should be 1, and it is indeed 1. What is wrong answer test with 15? Okay, in denominator we have, maybe we have 0 in denominator. Can some of these numbers be 0? Okay, I will return in a moment. Okay, let's think about it. First of all, let's check this function. Oh no, this is... What the hell? I hate my template because when I need it, it doesn't work well, I'd say. Okay, this is what I needed. I needed power mod without any strange functions. So here we need power mod my. Yeah, and inverse LL, what is inverse LL? And why inverse LL? Why just not inverse? So again, the only problem is n, because all other numbers are quite normal. Okay, let's check it. Let's check it. So let's make some stress. So void stress, what does it do? So we say that n is int n equals n is from 2 to this huge number. Then we need to take a random number. Then we take P and K. And I believe we just need to take any P, not exactly prime. Then we need to take K, which is like, again, any number. Then we need to find two answers. So if they are different, we print this and exit. And I don't want debug, I want to release. Okay, they seem same. I think they seem same. What if I replace it with 10? It's still same. Fine, then the problem seems to be somewhere else. Let's look again at our formulae. It's crazy. Maybe K is greater than N, actually. N can be greater than N. Oh my, N can be greater than, K can be greater than N. For example, 3, 2, 10. In this case, I think I'm incorrect. Where is it? Stress is removed. What? What happens here? Why didn't it print me 10 numbers? Isn't K 10? Why K is 3? 210 NPK, 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 NPK. Oh. But still, this is correct. This is fine. Isn't it? Okay, we don't like to find the inverse of 0. Yes, it's crazy to find the inverse of 0, so let's not do that. Yes, so let's start with this. Then, if k is greater than n, then k equals n. Then for int I equals 0, I is at most n, I is at most k plus plus I, we say that num I equals 1, denom I equals 1. Why? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's try again. Oh, it's incorrect in pretest too. Did I forget some corner case, or my solution is totally wrong? And that's it. Do people get wrong answer? Yeah, they do. What did I miss? What did I miss? Let's go again. So so again, number of matrices equals number of spaces divided by number of bases. Yes? No. Number of spaces times the number of independent in these spaces. Generating. Okay. So first of all, let's fix a space. So now we have an R by R, an FR space. We need to find number of generating sets of size n, which is just a matrix of rank R. Instead of that, we can find this matrix of rank R. And it is easy because it is just PR minus 1 times Pn minus 1 times Pn minus P times etc. times Pn minus PR minus 1. Yes. So this is easy. This is totally easy. We found the number of generating arrays. Now we need to find the number of spaces. To find the number of spaces, we need to find the number of independent vectors. So are independent vectors. They make some space. And we need to divide them by the number of bases in this exact set. So the first number is again this one, so we need to square it. And the second one is the number of bases here, which is simply PR minus 1, PR minus P, etc. PR minus PR minus 1. Okay? Maybe this is divisible by modulus. Okay, maybe this is divisible by modulus. Okay, I need to fix it fast. I need to fix it fast, and to do it, I need to find what do I need to find? I need to find for each P K minus PL, I need to find how many times this is divisible by modulus. And to do that, I need to find how many times pk minus 1 is divisible by modulus. This is what I need. Okay, let's think. Let's think. First of all, let's check if it is 0. If it is just 0, then it is easy. Okay, now let's assume that it is 0. So it is divisible by m, but is it divisible by m squared? Maybe yes, maybe no. Okay, I got it. We don't need it actually. I think we don't need it. I think we don't need it. I think we don't need it. Okay, so first of all, let's find their order. So let's int order, which is 0. Okay, so it's really easy. It's really easy. So actually, let's assume that denominator is divisible by m. This means that numerator is also divisible by m, but it is also squared. So this is already divisible by this, but there is one more such parenthesis. So the answer is indeed 0. Okay, okay. Okay, let us make the denominators. What will happen if my inverse takes 0? I need cool GCD. And I can return something very strange. Nothing really crazy, but something strange. So again, what I want to claim is that if this is divisible by m, then the numerator is also divisible by m, but it is divisible 2 times. So actually it is definitely 0 there. Okay, yes. Okay, then I need to do it fast. I need to do it really fast. How did it calculate correctly? If it is all zeros. How did it calculate correctly? Maybe it did not. So let's... Okay, so what do I do here is say this, and also I say that denom is product of denom. Oh no, I say that if mr equals, if denom I is not 0, then plus plus mr and denom equals prod of denom and this number. And else break. Then I say that denom mr equals inverse of denom. And then I start with mr minus 1. So this should work. Finally. This is awful. I still have 17 minutes to solve E or F. And I need to choose one of them. Maybe problem E is better for me. Okay, again. Oh, this is structure. This is... Oh no. There are structures in this problem. So, let's think about it. We have a tree Yes. Or problem F. No, problem E. Problem E, definitely. So let's start with reading this input. Okay, we read the input. We need to take all pairs of recreations. So again, for each vertex, we need to find the maximum number of different colors here, such that they are all different from this vertex. Yeah, so in order to do it, let's do what I want. So let's make vi temp_ans equals find temp_ans of P and A. Then I need to iterate over all vertices. How do I iterate over all vertices? Okay, so if n equals 1, I return I return 1, I think. Then I go through all vertices. So vi vect like vi vertex max of size n. Then I go through all vertices. Then I say that in this vertex I add the temp_ans. So the answer is maximum of answer and Vmax of I of Pi minus 1 times temp ans of P of I. And initially ans is 1. Yeah, it's fine. Then we need to say that Vmax of Pi minus 1 is maximum of Vmax Pi minus 1 and temp ans. Great. Now we only need to calculate this function. which calculates what I said. So for each vertex, it needs to find the maximum size of this set, including this one. How to do it? Okay, I can just take each leaf and for it to do this procedure. I go up, and each time I store the set of all vertices. The problem is this doesn't work well because I spend too much time. So for example, for this vertex, I will do the same thing and I spend a lot of time. Unfortunately, yes. Do I need some sort of binary jumps or what? No, I don't understand. How can I do it? I take a vertex, I go like along this tree somehow. And what? So the only problem I believe is if the tree is too deep. Yeah, because when I go along these vertices, I spend a lot of time. Yes, I spend a lot of time for these vertices. Maybe there is some sort of square root decomposition. So, for example, let's for vertex store all its paths to leaves. So we have all these arrays. Yeah. So the problem is if there are many of them and they all are long. So I'd like to have at most square root of n paths, or each of them is at most square root of n length. problem is that it isn't true. What's happening here? Maybe it's bit set? Is it bit set? N squared over 64? No, I think it's too low. And moreover, bit set would be low here. Okay, when I come in each vertex, I have several parents, like A1, A2, etc., AK. So here I'm interested in just all paths, or all paths with this color, without this color, or without these two color. Oh, maybe with them. Okay, with each suffix of these colors. Yes, so when I come into some vertex, okay, I concede, I cannot do it. No way I can do it. Okay, let's start making an editorial for you. Since I can solve this problem, I can... Oh, he hacked a lot. So problem A. Ah, I don't have a camera. Problem A. We have a sequence A whose product was equal to 2023. You removed k numbers, and now we have a sequence B of length n. We know the resultant sequence. Let's find the removed elements. It's quite easy. So let this be sequence A, and this is our sequence B, which is remaining after removing some n elements. Yeah, this is n. No, this is k. This is some sequence c which is removed. And these n elements are seen by you. So the product of c times product of, product of b equals 2023. You can easily calculate this product, and so you can find this product. To do it, let's just take number 2023 and divide it by one by one by these numbers. So we take b first, b second, etc. and divide it by bi. You need to check that it is divisible by it. So if the residue is not 0, then return no immediately, because it is impossible. Otherwise, we divide and divide it until we get the product of the array C. And if you know the product of array C, then it would be correct to just take the array P of C and a lot of ones. So it is a lot of ones and one number which you already know. Why I said one by one? Because if you just calculate this product as is and then divide, then it might overflow. Maybe not if you calculate it in long. Yeah, it's like 2000 to the power 5. Maybe it doesn't overflow, it fits in long, but don't forget to use long here. Okay, problem B. Problem B. You have chosen a number x. You choose two numbers a and b. You're given two numbers a and b, which are the two largest divisors of number x except x. It is not said here, it is bad. Still, except x. And you need to find the value of x. How to do it? So, as you might know, all divisors of any number are divided into pairs. Moreover, if you the pairs a and b such that a times b equals x, except maybe sometimes this is the same number, so it is paired with itself, but it is only in case that x is y squared, so x is a perfect square. In this case, y is paired with y. So let's sort all divisors. D1, which is always 1, is less than d2, is less than, etc., is less than dk, which is exactly k, x. You know these two numbers, dk minus 1 and dk minus 2. You know these two numbers, and you need to find x. How to do it? First of all, let's take LCM of dk minus 2 and dk minus 1. To do it, you can just calculate this number. So this is always the least common multiple of these two numbers. If you know how to calculate GCD, you know how to calculate LCM. So as you see, there is a multiplication, so maybe you could think about using int64 here, but actually it is not needed. I will explain later why it's not needed. So notice that since x is divisible by both of these numbers, then x is divisible by LCM of these two numbers. This means that actually LCM is among these numbers. Also, it is at least dk minus 1. So there are two cases. Either LCM is dk minus 1 or it is dk, because there are no more divisors which are at least dk minus 1. So let's consider two cases. First case is that LCM is dk. it's not dk minus 1. You can check that it is true because you know dk minus 1. Or equivalently, dk minus 2 does not divide dk minus 1. Okay? In this case, number x is simply this LCM, and you return this LCM. Okay, the second case is that LCM, so in this case, ans equals LCM. The second case is LCM equals dk minus 1. So this is just the larger of these two numbers. Notice, as I said, that d1, if we order all divisors, then they can make pairs with product x. So d1 times dk is x, d2 times dk minus 1 is also x, and d3 times dk minus 2 is also x. And as we know, so we know that dk minus 1, let me rewrite it as this. d2 is x over dk minus 1, and d3 is dk minus 2 is x over dk minus 2. Okay, let's rewrite this number. Yeah, as we know, it is simply d2 times dk minus 1 over dk minus 2. I just use the fact that this x equals this product, and this is true because of this line. So d3 is d2 times dk minus 1 over dk minus 2. Notice that this is an integer. This is an integer because dk minus 2 is divisible by dk minus 1 is divisible by dk minus 2 because of this equality. This means that actually d2 divides d3, yeah, because d3 is d2 times an integer. Great. This means, what does it mean? This means that, so notice that d2 is a prime number. 1 is d1, and it is less than d2, which is definitely a prime number, because if it wouldn't be prime, then there would be its prime divisor somewhere here, and it is not. So d2 is a prime number. So I want to prove that d3 is d2 squared. That's what I want to prove. Yeah, because you know that d3 is an integer. It is a multiple of d2. So actually, yeah, so we have 1, then we have d2, and then we have d2 times some number y. Can I use y? Yeah, I can use y. So we have divisors 1, d2, and then d2 times y. Yeah. Notice that y is less than this number. And this is also a divisor of x. So it should be somewhere here. It cannot be 1, because this would mean that these numbers are equal, and they are not. And this cannot be something else than other than d2, because otherwise this would be d4, and this is d3, not d4. So this means that d2 is just y. Y should be in this list, but it can only be d2. You don't have any other candidates. So d2 equals y. So this is d2 squared. Yeah, so what we need to do is we need to calculate x. We will do it as follows. We know that it is d2 times d k minus 1 we know k minus 1, we need to find d2. As I said, d3 is d2 squared. So this is just d3 over d2. And d3 over d2 is easily rewritten, can be easily rewritten as dk minus 1 over dk minus 2 times dk minus 2. So this is the final formula. You need to find dk minus 1 divided by dk minus 2 and multiply it by dk minus 1. Sorry, it should be dk minus 1 here. Or I would say dk minus 1 squared over dk minus 2. But this requires long, while this can be done in integer. You don't need long here. Okay, problem C. Training before the Olympiad. Masha and Oля have an important team Olympiad coming soon. They start with an array A, if it's size 1 it ends, otherwise we take two different indices and replace int I and ij with their sum over 2 floor and then again multiply by 2. Masha wants to maximize the final number while Oля wants to minimize it. So what you need to notice is that if you take the sum of all numbers, then if you take two numbers of same parity, then the sum doesn't change because you had ay plus aj. Now it is divided by 2, and since they are the same parity, this is an even number. And this means that this is an integer. So when you take its floor, it doesn't matter if you take it or not because it's an integer. Then you multiply it back by 2, so you just get ai plus aj. So you just replace two numbers with their sum. However, if they have different parity, then you get the following. You have ai plus a2 plus ij, ai plus aj over 2. Then when you take floor, it subtracts 1/2 because it was not an integer. And then you multiply it by 2. So now you get ai plus aj minus 1. So if you make an operation with same parity, you subtract 1. And if you have different parity, then you... Or if you have same parity, you don't do anything with the sum. And if you have different parity, then you subtract 1. So the question is, what is the maximum? Oля wants to maximize it, and Masha, or vice versa. No, Masha wants to maximize it, and Oля wants to minimize it. And the question is, what is the answer? First of all, you also always need to use long, obviously, because otherwise it will overflow. The second thought is, notice that the answer is almost always an even number. Why is that? Because the last operation is all operations end with an even number. So actually the last operation, which results in this final number, also generates an even number. So in the end, we will get an even number. The only exception is n equals 1 because there will be no operations. So first of all, if n equals 1, let's just return a0. So after that, we have n at least 2, and this means that Masha makes at least one turn, and Oля not always. Then I want to say that the answer is n over 3, no, not n, odd over 3 plus odd percent 3 equals 1. So this is the floor of the number of odd numbers divided by 3, and this is the residue. This is 1 if the residue of odd modulo 3 equals 1, and 0 if it is 0 or 2. So odd is number of odd numbers. Why is that? Notice that intuitively, Masha wants always take two numbers of same. Let me think. Masha wants always to take two numbers of same parity, and Oля wants to take numbers of different parities. So I think. Also notice that after each operation there is an even number. So if Ola wants, she takes an even number, always exists, and odd number. It may exist or not exist. If it doesn't exist, then Ola has to take two even numbers, and actually after that all numbers will be even, and the process is not that interesting. So once we have all even numbers, the answer is just the number of the answer is just the sum of the remaining numbers. So Ola actually wants to make this number of operations as big as possible. So she wants to have as many turns with odd numbers as possible. And Masha, it is obvious to see that she wants to minimize the number of odd numbers. So you can prove that actually it is the optimal strategy is as follows. During Ola's turn, yeah, she just takes Masha's turn. Masha's turn, she takes two odd numbers from here and adds them. And she makes an even number. If there are no two odd numbers, then Masha does whatever she likes. Doesn't matter. Okay, Ola. If there is at least one odd number, Ola takes an even number and an odd number. And it becomes an even number. If there is no odd number, if there are no odd numbers, she does whatever she likes. So this is the optimal strategy. So it is easy to see that the number of turns during which an even number and an odd number taken is at most so while Masha does this, yeah, she takes two odd numbers and then Ola takes one odd number. So during this phase 1, so there are two phases. Phase 1 is while Masha takes two odd numbers, always takes two odd numbers. And phase 2, when she doesn't do it, at most one odd number. Okay, during phase 1, Masha always takes two odd numbers, and Ola takes one if she can. If she wants, for example. But it's still no more than k over 3, where k is the number of odd numbers in phase 1. It's maximum k over 3, where k is the number of numbers in phase 1. In phase 2, it's at most 1, and it's only 1 if there is exactly one odd number after the phase 1. So it's easy to see that for both of them, it is best to make phase 1 as fast as possible. So Oля needs always to take an odd number during phase 1, and she will get odd over 3 points. Each point subtracts 1 from the sum. After that, we need to understand if phase 2 is empty in terms of odd numbers or not. And this is equivalent to having exactly one odd number after sorry, I said something wrong. So let's just consider 3 cases. It will be easier. So odd is 0 modulo 3. Then the answer is just odd over 3. Because Masha always takes 2 numbers and Oля always takes 1 odd number and decrements the sum. So it's just odd over 3. So if odd is 1 modulo 3, then still the answer is odd over 3 floor. Masha does it. But in the end, there is only one odd number. And if Oля makes an operation with it, it adds 1 to the answer. And if Oля doesn't do it, then Masha at some moment will have to do it. So the answer is still this. So when there is exactly one odd number, the answer will be decremented by 1 always, no matter what you do. Finally, if odd is 2 modulo 3, let me draw an example for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So Masha takes 2 numbers, then Ola takes 1 number and adds 1 to the answer. Masha again takes 2 numbers, Ola takes 1 number to the answer. Then Masha takes 2 numbers, and there are no more odd numbers. The answer will be just odd over 3. So this is why you need to add up this number and this number in case the residue is 1 modulo 3. I kinda explained the optimal strategies, but I kinda not explained why they're optimal. But it is easy to prove, so really it's not that hard. You can just write this answer, odd over 3, maybe plus 1. And you can prove that Masha cannot guarantee a bigger answer. Well, like sum minus this. Masha cannot guarantee the bigger answer or the smaller number of decrements. And Ola cannot guarantee a smaller number of increments. Masha cannot guarantee a smaller number of increments and a bigger sum, and Ola cannot guarantee a bigger number of increments and a smaller sum. This can be proven. Okay, problem D. You're given an odd number n. You need to find n different numbers that are squares of integers. So, maybe you know about a Pascal triangle, and you know that it looks like this. And maybe you notice that if you take a powers of 11, then you get something similar to the Pascal triangle. So 11 to the 0 power is 1, 11 to the first power is 1, 11 to the second power is 121, to the third power is 1331. It also works for the fourth power, but it doesn't work for the fifth power. Yeah, because 11 to the fifth power is something like 1, 5, 0, 1, 6, 1. It doesn't look like a Pascal triangle line. Why is that? This is because there is Newton's binom, which says that a plus b to the power of n is sum of a to the power of I, b to the power of n minus y, and choose number of n and choose I. So these numbers are just the numbers here. And when a and b are simply powers of 10, then this works nicely because like these digits get different positions in this decimal representation, and they get the different positions because these powers, it will be different power of 10 for different i's if a and b are different power of 10s as well. So this means that what I want to say is some algebraic formulae such as like a plus b squared is a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. You can find them visibly in small numbers when you apply what you expect in algebraic sense when you apply it in arithmetic sense. So the only reason it is not just this number written as like this is because there are some numbers with 2 digits. Yeah, so for example, if you worked in number system with base 11, this wouldn't happen because in 11 based system this is 1 digit, not 2 digits. So if it would look like 1 5 10 10 5 1, but it should be 12, of course, the power of 5, because in 11th base system 12 is 1 1 and not 11. So if you don't get any overflows and carry units, then you get the same thing in your digits as you expect in the algebraic formula. In particular, what if we take like a plus 3b squared? It is a squared plus 6ab plus 9b squared. So if we take a and b, two different powers of 10, then all these three numbers will be different powers of 10. And what you end up with is just 1 if this is 10 to the k and this is 10 to the k and this is 10 to the l and k is greater than l. Then you get 1, then several zeros, then 6, then several zeros, then 9, then again several zeros. And you can easily calculate the number of these zeros. For example, the number of zeros is, I guess, 2l, and here it should be something like k minus l minus 1. I'm not sure, but something like this. So actually what you need here in this problem is that all these sets, all these numbers have the same multiset of digits. So if k plus l is fixed, then the multiset is same. Also, it is the same if you take 10 to the k times 3 plus 10 to the l, where k is greater than l. But this time you get 9, then a lot of zeros, then 6, then a lot of zeros, then 1, and then a lot of zeros. The problem is, if you just use this construction in our problem, you will get n-1 numbers. You will just get n-1 numbers. You just need one more square and it works. And luckily for you, there is one extra number, which is 196 and a lot of zeros. This only works if n is at least 3, but if n is at least 1, you just print 1 square 1. This works. So you just take these three numbers and you add some zeros. To this number, you just add zeros to the end, as many as needed. And here you add the same number between 1 and 6 and between 6 and 9 and some zeros in the end. And the same goes here. And they will be squares of some understandable numbers. For example, this is a square of, I believe, 3100. No, 30,100. This squared is this. Okay, that concludes problem D. Then I didn't solve problem E and problem F, so we go with problem H. You're given integers n, p, and k, and you need to find the number of n by n matrices A of this field such that its rank is exactly R. Let's do it. I actually think I explained this problem 2 times during the contest, but I will explain it the 3rd time also. So, n by n matrix. Okay? There are 3 ways to define what a rank is. There are 3 different ways. There is a row rank, which is the following. You take each row, so you get R1, R2, etc., Rn. And these are elements of this vector space. And you ask yourself, what is the dimension of the subspace of Fn on these vectors? So this is the dimension of this space. The other thing is the columns, and it is also it's actually the same. There is a famous theorem that the column rank is the same as the row rank. So if you take all the columns, you again get n vectors in Fn vector space, and you are interested in the dimension, the number of dimensions in this column. And the third thing is, what is it? I actually forgot what it is. Actually, it is the following. You take all R by R minors. So rank is at least R if and only if there exists R by R non-zero minor. Non-zero means that if you take some R columns and some R rows and you take the intersections of these columns and rows, you get an R by R matrix. And you look at its determinant. Determinant. And if determinant is non-zero, then this minor is also called non-zero. And rank is at least R if there exists an R by R non-zero minor. So rank is max R such that there exists an R by R non-zero minor. Okay. So these are 3 definitions of rank. We will use mostly the first 2 of them. And let's start with the column one. So the number of matrices such that the rank equals R. this is the number of tuples of n vectors such that the dimension of the hull is exactly R. How to choose such an array? Actually, you need two things. You need to find the number of subspaces of dimensionality f R times, if you have a space of with R dimensions, you need to find the number of such tuples that they generate, so tuples in FR such that they generate this FR. So they are generating system in this FR. So again, combinatorically we do the following thing. Firstly, we fix the space in which we work. And then in this space, we calculate the number of generating systems of n vertices, of n vectors. Let's do it. How to calculate the number of I think we will start with right one. Okay, so this is the number of matrices. This time they should be R by n. Yeah, because this is the number of vectors in this space of n vectors. We should find the number of matrices such that the rank equals R. But as I said, the column rank is the same number as the row rank. So this is number of matrices whose row rank is R. So this is the number of A1, etc. AR in Fn such that A1, etc. AR are linearly independent. Okay, this is quite a standard problem. So you have space Fn. You need to find the number of such arrays A1, etc. AR such that they are linearly independent. To do that, let's choose the first vector. It can be any of Pn possible vectors except the one which is all zeros. Then there is the second vector, A2. It can be again any of them, but not one this time, but P this time. Any vector which is like multiple of these vectors, of this vector, is not allowed. Okay, what about the third vector? It can be any of these except p squared vectors which are generated by these two vectors. So the number of vectors which are linearly independent with a1 and a2 is this, etc. And finally pn minus p r minus 1. Okay, great. So we've solved this problem. But now we also have this problem, which is harder. Number of such vectors, number of subspaces in Fn of R dimensions. Actually, notice that if you take R vectors in Fn, which are linearly independent, let's call this set K. So each element of K induces a subspace fr in Fn. So there is a mapping from K to the set of all FRs in Fn, where K goes to half of K. It is easy to see that for each space in the right hand side, the number of Ks which generate this as a hull is the same. So if we call this mapping F, then F A minus first is same for all A. So this means that actually the size of this set is the fraction of the size of K and the size of F minus first of A. Yeah, because if you have a big set K and a small set A, and the number of elements that go into each element of A is the same, then it's easy to see that A times the size of this part, A times B, where B is a single thing going into the same A, is the size of K. This means to calculate the size of A, we just need to divide K by B. So K is already calculated, is this huge number. So we only need to calculate F minus first of A, which is the number of bases in FR. It is just the number of linearly independent sets of size R in FR, and as we already deduced, the formula is quite easy. It's PR minus 1, PR minus P, P to the R minus P squared, etc. P to the R minus P to the R minus 1. So you only need to calculate the following. You need to calculate product of P n minus Pi, where I goes from 0 to R minus 1 squared, over P from 0 to R minus 1, PR minus Pi. Okay. To do it, you can just do it easily. Yeah, because this is calculated simply, this is calculated also simply. In square time, you just do it. You just do it in square time if you want. However, okay, why do I say that it is easy? Because, like, this is something like numerator R over denominator R. What I want to say is that numerator R plus 1 is very connected with NR. It is just NR times if Pn minus PR squared. And denominator is also not that hard. It is denominator R times like something like this. So you can do it in linear time because this power can be calculated one by one for each R, and this also can be calculated in O of 1 time for each R. So this is easy. The problem is sometimes this is 0 and you need to somehow work with it. Not 0, but 0 modulo m. I want to prove that in this case the answer is 0. So what you need to do is to stop calculating these denominators the moment one of them gets 0, because after that you don't need to calculate them. They are all just zeros. Why is that? Because you know that this number, the left multiplicand, it is a whole number, it is an integer, and this integer is this one. So actually this thing in the parentheses divided by this thing is always an integer. So assume that the denominator is 0 modulo m. This means that the thing under the parentheses is also 0. Moreover, it is divisible by this number. So it is like x times x over y. It is x over y times x, where x is this number and y is this number. Notice that it is an integer, and this is divisible by m, where m is our modulus. This means that this whole thing is 0 modulo m. This means that you don't need to calculate it. So we calculate these numerators, these denominators. At some moment we stop because all answers are zeros. Then we calculate denominator, the last non-zero denominator in inverse modulo m. And then we go back. Yeah, so we calculate dr minus 1, dr minus 2, etc. Why can we do that? Because you just need to multiply by this number. This is transition from dr to dr plus 1, but it is also transition from dr plus 1 inverse to dr inverse. Multiply by this number. So in linear time you get all of this, and in logarithmic time you calculate one inverse number. That concludes this problem. Okay, I believe. Thank you for watching.